Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today let's discuss the important frequently asked interview questions from Infosys. Okay, so let's discuss. These are the round one set of interview questions. That's the technical round. The first set of interview questions are based on introduction and project based. Okay, so let me read out. Okay, the first question goes like, tell me about yourself and your automation testing experience, and what is your current project architecture. What challenges did you face in your recent automation project? How many test cases have you automated? What type of framework are you using and why? Explain your role in the automation framework development. How do you handle flaky test cases? What was the most critical defect you identified? How do you estimate automation effort? How do you decide which test cases to be automated? Okay, so these are the initial set of interview questions to filter the candidates. The next set of content questions are purely based on Selenium. uh, what are the different types of weights in Selenium? What are the differences between implicit weight and explicit weight? What is fluent weight and why it is used? How do you handle stale element exception? How do you handle dynamic web elements? How do you handle frames and multiple windows? What is page object model? What's the difference between factory and page object model? And how do you capture screenshots in Selenium? And how do you handle drop downs in Selenium? How do you perform mouse over actions? How do you handle alerts and pop-ups? Differences between find element and find elements? How do you run Selenium tests in parallel? What is thread local in Selenium? How do you handle synchronization issues? How do you execute JavaScript in Selenium? uh, how do you upload files using Selenium? How do you handle broken links? What are the Selenium limitations? Okay guys, they might ask you to write the syntax for any of this. Be thorough with that. Okay, so the next set of interview questions are based on purely Playwright. Okay, so why Playwright is chosen over Selenium in recent modern automation, and what are Playwright advantages? And they might also ask you like, what are the advantages of Selenium over Playwright? Okay, and how does auto weighting work in Playwright? What's the differences between locator and selector? How do you handle multiple tabs in Playwright? How do you capture traces, screenshots or videos? What is Playwright test runner? How do you run tests in parallel in Playwright? What is API testing support in Playwright? How do you handle authentication in Playwright? How do you parameterize the tests? What are fixtures in Playwright? Differences between Cypress and Playwright? How do you retry failed tests? And how do you generate reports in Playwright? Okay. So the next set of interview questions are purely based on API testing, and they might ask you to write the rest assured code, or they might ask you the concepts on rest assured also. Okay, so the set of interview questions goes like, what is REST API, difference between get and post, put and patch, and the status codes differences, difference between authentication and authorization, what is JWT token, how do you validate API responses, what tools have you used for API testing, how do you automate APIs, what's the difference between SOAP and REST? Okay, so these are the set of interview questions asked in round 1 Infosys. If you are looking for effective interview ready answers for all the above interview questions, and if you are struggling to crack QA automation testing interviews in MNCs and product based companies, and if you want to get selected in your next QA automation interview, and if you're looking for complete study materials and notes, we have compiled study materials plus 10,000 plus real-time genuine interview questions and answers covering web automation, API automation, mobile testing or mobile automation, performance testing, manual testing, DevOps concepts, AI driven concepts, programming concepts, and also topic wise study materials, notes, PDFs, and company specific interview questions and answers. Okay, company specific in the sense it contains both everything, service based, product based, startup and mid-sized companies. Okay, questions from all these organizations, type of organizations. Okay, so please do check out for the link in the description or in the comment box or in my YouTube community post. Thank you so much for watching my video. All the best for your next interview. Thank you. Happy learning, happy testing.